Now to our big story of the night. A man is now facing charges after police say he went inside a Phoenix mosque and threatened members inside. This comes as the entire Islamic community is on high alert. Just days ago, 50 people were killed and dozens more were hurt when a gunman opened fire, taking aim at worshipers inside two mosques in Christchurch, New Zealand. Today, followers here in the Valley are holding a vigil for the victims killed in that horrific attack. And meanwhile, they're coming face to face with threats in their own house of worship. Team 12's Michael Dowdna joins us live at that vigil right now. Michael?
Yeah, that's right, Mitch. For the second day in 2 nights, we're actually having another interfaith vigil to honor and remember those victims of that New Zealand shooting at a mosque. And of course, we also had a little bit of an incident here in the Valley as well. Now, I'm actually going to bring the imam of that mosque with me. First off, can you kind of walk through me exactly what happened yesterday at your mosque?
Yesterday, we had a person who came to our mosque, United Islamic Center of Arizona, and he was interested to learn about the religion. This is what the people were present there mentioned in regard to him. And then after that, after people, they welcomed him and they said, you can even pray with us, you can talk to us, we can answer questions. Later on, he started asking some very strange questions, and I would say suspicious questions to those who were present. And he started making some gestures that were not normal gestures.
What was that gesture?
I think among the gestures, you know, like a gesture like this one, which is very threatening. So they didn't take it well at that point when he started doing that gesture, and started recording things, you know, putting things in writing and looking at the places where the cameras are and going in each corner of the mosque, kind of analyzing. So that's a moment when some community members, board members of the mosque, they felt threatened, and they said, you know what, we got to call the police at this point. And
how is it to kind of respond to this, you know, especially in light of what we actually saw on Friday with the New Zealand shooting?
So I think the community responded very well right away. They called the cops when they saw it being very suspicious behavior. And the cops, I'm very appreciative for their quick response. You know, they just showed up very quickly, and they did whatever they could in order to make sure that this man, you know, they checked the background, they searched his car, and they made sure that everything is okay and there is no potential threat at that moment. So everything went okay. Thanks God there was no crimes committed or anything like that, but this is a very crucial and very problematic time that we live in, because the hate is increasing, unfortunately, in the societies from different propagandas against migrants, against the refugees, against Muslims, against Jews, against you name it. So many categories of people that I can't even mention.
Well, thank you so much for spending some time with us. And they are holding this vigil today to hopefully change that message, to show a community coming together to end up helping everyone that was involved in this tragedy. We're live in Scottsdale. Michael Dowdna, 12 News.
Thank you, Michael.